How's it going, buddy? Welcome back to the Bears Baseball Network. It was another very good weekend of Bears baseball, although it was just a one-day tournament with Sunday being Easter. And I hope you all had a fantastic Easter, and we certainly had a fantastic Saturday prior to Easter. And a couple more tournament wins. 11U Floyd won their second tournament of the season. 12U Floyd won their second tournament of the season. And 12U Williams won their first tournament of the season. So fantastic job there by those three teams. And if you're paying attention, that now means that 12U Floyd, 11U Floyd, and 14U Dalton each have 2 tournament championships in the first 3 weekends. And I told you that this best team in the Bears debate was going to play out all season long. And it is so tight right now. And those 3 teams now, 12U Floyd and 14U Dalton, both have a 10-1 record, and 11U Floyd has a 7-2-1 record. That is a combined record of 27-4-1 from our 3 varsity Bears youth teams, and wow, what a fantastic start to the year. I told you these 3 teams were going to be legit, but even I don't know if I could have predicted a 27-4-1 start from those 3 teams. Just an unbelievable start to the Bears season and a fantastic job by those 3 teams. And how about 12U Williams getting their first victory, tournament victory of the season? They've been playing well, very sneakily. Very sneakily, 12U Williams has been a very, very solid team. So congratulations to them. A lot more home runs this weekend. Despite just a one-day tournament, the Bears were still able to hit a bunch of balls over the fence. Landon Nickerson had a monster weekend with 3 homers. Liam Schreiber hit 2. Rookie Diego Buccio for 11U Floyd and Byrne hit 2 as well. And then Landon Meyer and rookies Sam Dollins and Ben Combs each hit 1. Sam Dollins, a 14U Dalton player. Ben Combs, a 13U Floyd player. And, of course, Landon Meyer, 12U Floyd. They each hit 1. Of our high school guys, Eddie Hogan-Miller and Brennan Nickerson both hit their second home runs of their high school seasons, and Anthony Valenti hit 1 on JV. That brings us up to a total of 83 home runs between our Bears teams and our high school guys so far this year, and we are just getting started. I mean, it's still the middle of April. I mean, we're not even through April yet. We've already had 83 home runs. We are on record-breaking pace here this season, and I'll tell you what, the home run race is so hot right now. Vince Dalton, of course, still leads with 6. Liam Schreiber and Parker Ells each have 5. Brendan Bast, Landon Nickerson, Landon Meyer, and Luke Warren each have 4. It's just crazy that the state that the Bears are in right now, that we have a bunch of guys with 3 home runs, and there's too many to even mention right here. I mean, it was crazy. Last time we did BBN a couple years ago, if you had 3 home runs, I mean, you were going to be the talk of the show. And now we've got guys with 3 home runs who aren't even going to get mentioned here on this list. I mean, just what a crazy start that the Bears are off to. So, again, Vince Dalton currently leads with 6 going in. And then, of course, he's got a lot of guys on his tail. Our youth prep teams are 7-8U and 9 and 10U teams. They had their first weekend of the year this weekend. A lot of competitive games from those guys. And a couple names I wanted to mention. Blake Nickerson, Alex Hockmuth, and Nash Waring all went 4 for 4 in their first day of baseball this season. So getting off to a great start, hitting 1,000 through their first 2 games of the year. For 10U Floyd, George McKinley, Owen Lewis each hit 750, and Connor Burks hit 667. So those 3 off to a fantastic start. And how about this 10U Floyd pitching staff? In 2 games, 20 strikeouts to just 3 walks. So this team, not sure what we're going to expect from our youth prep teams, but the 10U Floyd pitching staff certainly looking like a strength here early on. We are just 3 weeks into the season, but I want to go ahead and give you our current leaders for some different categories here this season. Been just barely scratched the surface of all the baseball we're going to play this year, but want to get you updated on some current leaders. Currently, Brendan Bass leads all Bears in hits. He's got 18. Right behind him are Vince Dalton, Landon Meyer, and Jordan Waring. That's our leaders for hits. Obviously, Vince Dalton, once again, he leads in home runs with 6. Vince Dalton also leads in extra base hits. He has 11. Right behind him, Landon Meyer, Max Brodeur, Landon Nickerson, Lucas Wilburn, and Andrew Willeret are all right on the tails of Dalton for extra base hits. Vince Dalton also leads in batting average with a .739 average. Right behind him, Brendan Bast, Jack Roberts, Andrew Willeret, Diego Buccio, our rookie, and Jordan Waring. That is with a minimum of 20 at-bats. By the way, anybody with fewer than 20 at-bats was not counted for our batting average leaderboard. Same thing with our OPS leaderboard. The current leader is Vince Dalton. He has a 2612 OPS. Right behind him, Brendan Bast, Jack Roberts, Luke Warren, Andrew Willeret, and Parker Ells, all right on his tail. And Vince Dalton leads with RBIs as well with 23. Right behind him, Lucas Wilburn, Parker Ells, Landon Meyer, Liam Schreiber, and Tyvor Zazueta, all right on his tail. Some of our pitching categories, Jordan Waring currently leads all Bears pitchers with 15 1/3 innings pitched. Right behind him, Santiago Story, Zach Rohr, Andrew Driscoll, Max Brodeur, Reed Carlson, and Evan Lancaster. With pitching strikeouts, Lucas Wilburn leads the way with 22. Right on his tail, Jordan Waring, Evan Osborne, Zach Rohr, Santiago Story, and Jaden Highland. And then with our ERA leaderboard, currently Reed Carlson leads the way with a .583 ERA. This is with a minimum of 10 innings pitched. So Carlson leads the way. Right behind him, Evan Lancaster. He also has a sub-1 ERA with .636. I mean, just crazy what we're doing on the mound so far this year. And then right behind them, Santiago Story, Andrew Willeret, and Jordan Waring, each with very low ERAs. We're going to take a quick break. No hacking time this week because of the one-day tournament. So we will catch up next weekend with the home runs and extra base hits from the last 2 weekends. So be sure if you have not sent in any extra base hits from the one-day tournament, send them in because they will be included on next week's hacking time. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, a lot of guys getting off to hot starts. Brandon Birdsell is going to join the show, and him and I are going to talk about the hot starts that we think are not just early season streaks. We think these are true breakouts that are happening right before our eyes. And then later in the show, KJ Floyd is going to join the show for our weekend pick'em series. So you're not going to want to miss it. A lot to talk about here in this episode of the BBN. Despite just a one-day tournament, we still have BBN and a lot to talk about. So we'll be right back. When we come back, Brandon Birdsell is going to join the show. Don't go anywhere. This is the Bears Baseball Network.
I'm KJ Floyd, head coach of 11U in the high school spring team.
I'm Sam Weiss, captain of the spring team and player on 18U Floyd. To have your highlights featured,
Send them to the email below.
Spring team!
Welcome back to the Bears Baseball Network. Robbie Floyd joined by Brandon Birdsell. And you know what? Early in the season, a lot of guys getting off to hot starts, and sometimes people tend to overreact. You know, what's real? What's just a hot start, and what's an actual breakout? Well, Bernie and I are going to give you 4 players each who are actually breaking out. This is no smoke and mirrors, no, not just a hot streak. These are 4 guys each who we think are truly breaking into a new level. You know, we did our preseason breakouts, but now we're actually starting to see these guys on the field. So here are 4 picks each, guys who are truly breaking out. Bernie, give me your first pick of a guy who's actually breaking out.
My first breakout is going to be Diego Buccio from 11U Burn. This guy, he's batting .684, has 2 home runs, 15 RBIs, and he's a free swinging guy, swings hard, hits a lot of extra base hits, and he went from a second team starter to a top prospect to now, I think in a couple weeks, I would not be surprised if he makes the 11U Floyd starting lineup. Kennedy thinks he could be the one big bat away that they're missing to turn into an elite team, and yeah, Diego's been hot.
Yeah, it's a great pick. Definitely off to a hot start. For me, my first pick's going to come from 12U Floyd, and it's Quinn Steinbeck. And Quinn has always been a guy who's been a premier defender. Obviously plays catcher, plays all around the infield, even can play the outfield when necessary. But he's taken a real step forward this season with the bat. He's only had about 16, 17 plate appearances, but he has not taken a single bad at-bat yet. And, you know, obviously, sometimes it can be hard to explain what a good at-bat is versus a bad at-bat. But he's gone up there, and he's had excellent plate discipline. He's started to hit for some power, which, you know, when it comes to 12U, you look at these guys who are just starting to get into savage strength for the first year. You start to see these guys who develop power, and I think that's what's happening here with Quinn Steinbeck. Off to just a fantastic start, hitting .667, and I'm not saying he's going to hit .667 on the year, but he's a guy who's been a top-team platoon guy, and he may just break into that 12U Floyd starting lineup. So Quinn Steinbeck off to a fantastic start with the bat, and I think that what we're seeing right now with Quinn is a true breakout and not just a hot start. So Bernie, give me your next pick for a guy who's breaking out right in front of our eyes.
I'm going to just stick with 11U. Go with a player that I would kind of compare to Quinn in a lot of ways. Go with Colin Dean. He's batting .530 so far, 1.2 OPS, and he's only struck out once all season and walked 5 times. So this kid, he puts a bat on the ball almost every at-bat, and he is a legit, I don't know if he is the best youth catcher, but he's definitely in the discussion to be one of the best youth catchers, and he's going from that, like, the platoon type of guy to now a starter, and I'm not allowed to say where he's going to bat this weekend, but I have heard from a little birdie that he is getting moved way up in the order this weekend.
Yeah, that's a great pick. A guy who we had thoughts about before the season, but certainly now doing it on the field is a different level. I'm going to go ahead and talk about a guy we talked about a lot preseason, and it's, turned in one of the BBN favorites, but he's certainly justifying it, and it's 14U Dalton player Jack Roberts. And when you look at what this guy's doing, I mean, even Bernie and I, who were big Jack Roberts fans preseason, even we could not really predict what he has gone through so far to start the year. He's hitting up near 700, and of course he's not going to hit 700 for the full season, and he's not going to hit 2 home runs every 3 weekends. He's going to slow down, but I think this is a guy who didn't really have a whole lot of expectations preseason. He was firmly on the Dalton bench coming into the year, and I think he's definitely broken into that starting lineup, and I think he even has some potential to break into that top caliber of player. Really, he could be a top 10 youth Bears player when it's all said and done. So Jack Roberts, I completely believe in the breakout, and I believe in what he's doing here early on. Bernie, give me your next breakout in the early season.
I'm going to go to 13U Floyd, go with Andrew Willerette. For this season so far, he's batting .636, 1.8 OPS, 1.1 slug, has 14 hits, 8 at which have been extra base hits, 1 home run, and even on the mound, 11 1/3 this inning with a 2.4 ERA. I mean, this kid does everything. And the reason I kind of put him on this breakout list is, in my mind, anyone could have a good fall. Anyone can. His rookie fall was great, but after the winter, can you come back out and replicate that same season? And so far, he's been great, and that is a building block for the 13U level.
Yeah, obviously, Willerette, that fall, just about 53 at-bats, So can you do that over the course of a full year? And obviously, it's only been 3 weekends, but now he's got near 100 career Bear plate appearances where he's just been unbelievable. So I think it's a great pick. I'm going to go back to 12U, and this is a guy who last year, before I even give the name, I'm going to kind of give you the story. Last year, he started the year on 12U Floyd's bench. And then over the course of the season, he turned into a starter where he was never leaving the field. He was just kind of a mixture in that lineup where he was just there every single game. And now I think he's breaking into that stardom category. So this guy is Parker Ells, and I think he has taken his game to a whole nother level. I talk about good at bats, and he's done some things this season that show me that he's not just that raw power hitter that we saw when he joined the Bears organization. He has become a veteran-type hitter where he's going up there, hitting in the cleanup spot, getting a lot of off-speed, and he's learned how to deal with it. And he's been able to see 4 straight off-speed pitches and then still hammer the fastball. Or with 2 strikes, get a breaking ball and hammer it into the gap. Those type of veteran at-bats make me feel like he's not just off to a hot start. He has the approach of a veteran-type hitter, and I think he's going to be a top 10, if not top 5 hitter in the Bears for this season. And I think he's off to an amazing start, and I don't think it's a fluke. I think Parker Ells is turning into a star at the Bears level. Bernie, you've got one more breakout for us. Let's hear it.
My last pick, I'm going to stick with 12U, is actually my breakout pick from the start of the year. We're going to roll with Aaron Knoll from 12U Floyd. This guy, so far, again, I'm not going to say he's going to do this all season, but he's batting nearly 700, 1.8 OPS, 1.1 slug with a home run, and he's kind of going right now. He started the year in that kind of platoon area, and now he's in the conversation to be a starter, right? I think he should be. We'll see if he is. But Robbie talked a lot about the Parker Ells story. I would not be surprised if in a year we're talking about Aaron Knoll in that same kind of storyline as Parker Ells.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick. He certainly is one of the hottest starters in the entire organization so far, and certainly on the BBN. We believe in it. We think that he is going to be that good all year long. My last breakout is going to be ZZ Garcia. He's a guy we liked preseason, but he has even taken a step forward more than I thought he was going to. I thought he was going to be a role player this season. I thought he was going to spend the spring and summer, learning how to play at the top level. But he's played well. He's played a lot of his games with 11U Floyd. He's hitting above 400 when you combine his Burn and Floyd stats. And I think he's got a chance to break into that starting lineup, He's a platoon player right now, but I think he could break out into that starting lineup and be a key part of this 11U Floyd team ZZ Garcia has been very impressive at the plate, and defensively, he's been exactly as advertised. I mean, he's played all over the diamond for 11U Floyd, and I think he's going to keep fighting, can keep getting more and more playing time because it's hard to take him off the field right now with the way he's playing. When we come back, we're going to take a quick break, and we have our weekend pick'em series. Bernie is the reigning champion. He beat me on our last weekend pick'em series, so KJ Floyd is going to join the show to compete against Bernie. We'll be right back here on the Bears Baseball Network.
I'm Logan Meyer from 12U Floyd. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Bears Baseball Network. This is our weekend pick'em series. Bernie, he took the first weekend pick'em series against me and his score of 3-2. It was a good one, but Bernie is the reigning champion. So KJ Floyd, he'll join the show to try to dethrone Bernie here. If you don't remember how the weekend pick'em works, we have 5 categories: 2 hitting, 2 pitching, and 1 team. Each of our analysts is going to make a pick for each category for this weekend. And then whoever has the winner in each category will obviously total the points, and the winner will be the new champion. So here we go. Bernie, since you are the reigning champion, you're going to get the first pick in every category. That is the perks of being the reigning champion. So here we go. We're going to start with batting runs scored. Bernie, give me your pick for runs scored.
For runs scored, we're going to go to 4-2 Dalton, and we're going to pick Tegan Kreitler. He hits in the 2-hole of the Dalton lineup. He gets on base a lot, hits a lot of base hits, and he has guys like Vince Dalton, Ty Vore, Jack Roberts behind him, so he's just going to score a lot this weekend.
Bernie, that's a good pick. And now Tegan Kreitler can no longer be used for any other category. So KJ, give me your pick for runs scored.
For run scored, I'm going to go to the third best team in the Bears, and I'm going to go with 12U Floyd's Carson Donsbach. That whole lineup can hit, so no matter where he bats, he is a threat to score runs, and he hits a lot of home runs.
Yeah, that's a great pick. Obviously, Carson Donsbach, when you hit home runs, you drive yourself in. Our next hitting category, Bernie, once again, you get to pick first. It is doubles. Who's going to have the most doubles this weekend?
For doubles, we are going to go to 12U Floyd now, and we are going to pick up Caleb Canis. You know, I'm not going to say he's off to a slow start, but he's not been hitting for a lot of power lately, but I think there is so much power in that bat, and he's going to explode this weekend.
It's a good pick, a nice bounce back pick. KJ, give me your pick for doubles.
I'm going to go to the best second-level team in the Bears, 11U Burn. Give me my boy, Big Bappa Diego Buccio. All this guy does is hit extra base hits, hit a couple home runs last weekend. People are starting to learn the name, and he's going to hit a lot of doubles this weekend.
Diego Buccio, a nice pick here. Bernie, now we'll move into our pitching categories. Bernie, give me your pick for first pitch strike percentage this weekend. First pitch strike.
I think we talked about him a little last week. We're going to go to 13 Floyd and pick up Alex Ruppel. Precision pitching guy, absolutely just pounds the zone. Has really came onto the scene this year as a good pitcher for that 13 team. And, yeah, he just pounds the zone. That's all he does.
Great pick, precision pitching guy. KJ, give me your pick for first pitch strike percentage.
You know, it's funny you say that, Bernie, because I'm also going to go to 13 Floyd, and I'm going to pick Ruppel's good friend, Logan Eckerts.
Uh-oh.
All this guy does is pump strikes.
Uh-oh. Battle of friends there in that category. We'll see who comes out on top. Now we'll move on to our next pitching category. It is walks per 9. So the way walks per 9 works, basically it's a rate stat. So let's say you have 1 walk in 3 innings. That would come out to a 3 walks per 9 stat. Because obviously you multiply the innings and walks by 3. So Bernie, give me your pick for walks per 9.
For walks per 9, we're going to go to the actual second best team in the Bears. We're going to go to 12U Bell, and we're going to pick up Reed Carlson. I mean, this guy is the definition of someone who goes out there every weekend and just he's very reliable. He's going to pound the zone. I think this season he has like 2 walks in like 14 or 15 innings. And, I mean, yeah, he goes out there, he's going to pound the zone, he's going to give him a chance to win.
One of the most reliable strike throwers in the organization, Reed Carlson. It's going to be a tough one for you to beat, KJ. Let's hear your pick.
Well, you know, I'm going to have to go to the best team in the Bears here, 11U Floyd. And, you know, you don't see a lot of guys who can get a ton of strikeouts and not walk anyone. But Callan Bierling is one of those guys. He's a Sunday ace, and he's going to throw a lot of strikes this weekend.
Yeah, one of the top pitchers in the Bears. You can never go wrong with that. And we'll move into our final category. It is our team category. And Bernie, we'll start with you again. Give me your team pick for pitching strikeouts this weekend. This is a team stat. How many strikeouts for the entire team combined?
Since, you know, I get to pick first here, I'm sorry, Kennedy, but 11U Floyd's going to be the pick here for reasons he said. We got Callan Bierling, we got Jordan Waring, we got Jaden Highland, we got Josh Tallier, we got Alex Lowry, we got the whole crew, Brendan Bast, and yeah, they strike a ton of people out.
That's been one of the best pitching staffs in the organization. Definitely a good pick. KJ, give me your picks for team pitching strikeouts.
Well, since you picked from the best team of the Bears, I'll just take one step down and go to the second best team. And well, I'm going to take 14U Dalton. They got a ton of big arms on that team. Santiago Story, they got Osborne, they got Teagan, they got the Daltons. All this team does is strike people out. They're a powerhouse, and you can expect a lot of strikeouts from them this weekend.
Yeah, that's a great pick. So we'll see the weekend pick'em series. Let's go ahead and recap our picks real quick. Bernie, give me your picks for each category real quick.
All right, for runs scored, we have Teagan Crowder from 14U Dalton. Doubles, Caleb Canetz from 12U Floyd. First pitch strike, Alex Ruppel from 13U Floyd. Walks per 9, we got Reed Carlson from 12U Bell. And for the team strikeouts, we got 11U Floyd.
And KJ, real quick, recap your picks.
Walks per 9, I'm going with Callan Bierling. First pitch strike, I'm going to go with Logan Eckerts. Doubles, I'm going to go with my boy Diego. Runs scored, I'm going to go with Carson Dodds-Buck. And for strikeouts, for the teams, I'm going to go 14U Dalton.
That's going to do it here for the Bears Baseball Network. We've got a full weekend of baseball, no one-day tournament type stuff this weekend. So be sure to go out, watch all your favorite teams play, and get those extra base hits on video and send them in for our next edition of Hackin' Time. Thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you all next week.